Good day, everybody. It's Andrew here. Welcome back to my channel. So, January 19th is a huge day for Social Security payments. Let's discuss the details, but before we jump into it, do me a quick favor, hit like, hit subscribe, and share this channel with anyone who you think might find this helpful. This is a community for seniors, and my job here is to be a voice for you and be a voice for seniors to make sure President Biden keeps his promise to increase Social Security, increase SSI and SSDI, and even approve a stimulus check for seniors in this next stimulus package. So thank you so much for being a part of our community, and if you really want to support my work, consider becoming a channel member. All you have to do is click on the link that's in the comments of this video. It's going to take you to my YouTube channel, and then right in the middle there's this join button. Click on that. The only thing is it only lets you do this on desktop, so on your computer. If you're on your smartphone, it's not going to let you become a member. And again, if you can't afford to do so, I completely understand. Just being a part of our community is enough support, but to those of you who have been able to become channel members, thank you so much for supporting my work. So before we talk about January 19th, the payment date for seniors that's going to give larger Social Security payments, first, let's do a quick update on daily trending news. Now, first of all, there's really good news regarding Medicare Part B premiums. There's a chance that they actually might be reducing them, which would allow you to keep more of your Social Security benefit. This winter, there was huge headlines showing that COLA was going to be 5.9%, but then we had the Medicare Part B premium coming in historically large as well, which was going to eat into a large percentage of your COLA. Well, now we have an official announcement that they are going to reassess the Medicare Part B premium. Nothing is set in stone yet, but they're at least analyzing it and considering lowering the premium. So on January 10th, the Health and Human Services Secretary, Xavier Becerra, announced that he's instructing CMS, so Medicare and Medicaid services, to reassess this year's standard Part B premium hike. A big reason for this year's giant increase stems from higher costs related to one specific medication called Aduhelm, a medication designed to treat Alzheimer's disease. So it's completely ridiculous to increase Medicare premiums for millions of seniors across the board for one medication that almost nobody is going to take. Then on top of that, this drug's manufacturer has since cut its estimated per patient cost in half, from $56,000 per year to $28,000 per year. So one way or another, this Medicare Part B premium is going to go down somewhat, right? With that drug being cut in half as far as the price, we should see a reduction in your Part B premiums, which means you're going to be able to keep more of your Social Security benefit than you originally thought. So that's really good news. So before we talk about the January 19th payment dates for Social Security, couple more updates on trending news. Quick update on inflation and the fact that the Federal Reserve is trying to control inflation by increasing interest rates, but a lot of experts are saying that interest rates aren't really the right tool to control inflation. Really, this is on the hands of President Biden, who should be using things like the National Guard to help increase the supply chains, using the National Guard's resources to deliver goods to the people, right? That's one of the main things that's happening right now. There's not enough truck drivers to deliver goods. This is creating supply chain shortages. So utilizing the National Guard and doing things like creating more gas supply. We have supply reserves of gas. It's just President Biden hasn't opened enough of them. So really they're saying that this is really up to President Biden, and this is one of the main reasons he's doing so poorly in the polls. People are blaming President Biden, and quite frankly, people are worried that interest rates are going to go too high and it's not really going to help inflation. Then we're going to end up in a situation where interest rates are high and goods are still going up as well. So that's something to keep our eye on. And one last quick thing I want to point out before we talk about the January 19th payment dates is the fact that even when we go through cycles of interest rates going up, usually these cycles last anywhere between 18 months to 8 years. That's the average. And usually during these cycles, actually, the stock market tends to do really well. So although people are worried about the stock market crashing because interest rates are going up, if you're considering investing in stocks to try and help your retirement or build your wealth, it's actually, based on history, a good idea to start investing now while stocks are down, because generally what happens is When news comes out that interest rates are going to go up, the stock market immediately plummets, which it just did. But then over the next couple of years, we get really, really good returns in the stock market. And that kind of makes sense because the Fed only raises interest rates generally when the market is doing really, really well. So they raise interest rates to try and keep the stock market from overheating and going up too much. And they do it conservatively, right? So they don't tank the market, they just dampen these insane returns. The stock market was up about 25% last year. That's unsustainable. So, if you're a senior and you're considering investing in stocks, and this is not financial advice, but the next couple of years might be a good time to start buying stocks. All right, folks, let's talk about Social Security, the January 19th payment dates, how large these payments are going to be, and what we expect to happen next when it comes to checks for seniors and Social Security benefits being increased across the board. First of all, there are headlines everywhere saying that Democrats should make Social Security a top issue in these midterm elections, right? So we have these November midterm elections where seats in both the House and the Senate are up for re-election. And as of now, if those elections were held today, there would be a red wave and Democrats would lose control of both chambers, leaving President Biden as a sitting duck. Now, half of you vote Republican, so half of you are like, yes, let's that's a good thing, right? And in a lot of ways, it can be a good thing depending on what issues matter the most to you. But when it comes to Social Security increases and when it comes to approving more stimulus, quite frankly, having Democrats in control increases our odds of getting both of those things done. So, for the purposes of this channel and the topics we talk about here, really a red wave would not be good for these issues. Now, at the same time, you could argue that Democrats aren't good for these issues either. I mean, we've been waiting 10 months for the fourth stimulus check, and we've been waiting about a year for President Biden to increase Social Security benefits, right? Something he promised on the campaign trail. So, not to say that Democrats are really a guarantee of these things happening either, but statistically, our odds of getting these things go up if Democrats control both chambers. Now, a lot of experts are saying that Democrats should make Social Security a top issue in the midterms, and this could help them win and maintain control of both chambers. Let's take a quick look at this article. Now, the nation is facing a retirement income crisis. Of course, we talk about that on this channel every single day. Social Security is unquestionably the nation's most important source of retirement income, but the last time Congress expanded Social Security was when Richard Nixon was president. Unless the Congress addresses the crisis by expanding Social Security, too many Americans will be unable to retire without a drastic and precipitous drop in their standards of living. As the wealthiest country in the history of the world, America can afford to protect and expand Social Security if we require those at the top to contribute their fair share. The good news is that this Congress is poised to take action. Thank you so much. This is what we've been saying on this channel for about a year. We need to take care of seniors. This is the wealthiest country in the history of the world. We can afford to take care of seniors, and we can afford to take care of those who are disabled on SSI and SSDI as well. And again, I always want to point out, these are not handouts. We're not asking for charity for seniors. Seniors paid into the system their entire lives. They paid for 30, 40, 50 years. So where did that money go, right? If you paid a chunk of your income, your entire life to a system, and then it's giving you pennies on the dollar, it's giving you scraps to make you live in poverty, I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. And I get why people say it's a Ponzi scheme. I mean, it's not a Ponzi scheme, but it's just by not funding it properly and by not giving seniors enough Social Security benefits, it really makes it seem kind of like a Ponzi scheme, right? Because you pay your entire life and then you get this tiny little benefit. It's just completely unfair. And again, the wealthiest country in the world, in the history of the world, can afford to do better for its seniors, folks. And let me know in the comments if you agree. All right, folks. Well, this video ran a little longer than I thought it would. I didn't think I was going to talk so long about Social Security being expanded before November, but I quickly want to touch on the January 19th payment dates, and then we'll jump back into talking about the Social Security expansion. Now, if you look on your screen, this is from the official Social Security website, ssa.gov, and this shows the schedule of Social Security benefit payments in 2022. And if you're on Social Security, you know that it gets paid on the second, third, and fourth Wednesday of the month. Last Wednesday was the first payment for 2022, and this Wednesday, January 19th, is going to be the second wave of Social Security payments, which are going to include that larger COLA adjustment of a 5.9% increase. Now, Millions of seniors are going to get a bigger Social Security benefit, and the average monthly benefit is now over $1,650 per month. So, this marks the date, January 19th, where we're having millions of seniors getting bigger payments, but then it's also a reminder that it's simply not enough. Now, while 1650 is the average, I happen to know that the majority of people on my channel get anywhere between $900 and $1,400 per month. So we need a huge increase across the board. And again, this is what President Biden promised on the campaign trail. He promised to raise the minimum benefit to 125% of the federal poverty level, meaning that $1,600 per month would actually be the minimum. That wouldn't just be the average with half of people making way less and living in poverty. That would be the minimum across the board that everybody would get. So although January 19th is a pretty historic day when it comes to this larger COLA coming, millions of seniors getting bigger payments, it's also kind of a sad and stark reminder that although we've come pretty far, there is so much farther to go. We should not have half of seniors getting $800, $900, or $1,000 per month. This is completely not okay. And folks, let me know in the comments if you agree. So just take January 19th as a big reminder that although payments are getting bigger, we will not stop fighting to make sure President Biden keeps his word to increase benefits across the board, folks. This average of $1,600 per month should be the minimum based off of what President Biden promised. So big date, but folks, there are bigger dates to come because we will make these changes and we will keep fighting until they hear our voice and seniors are taken care of. And there's currently a huge push, like we talked about earlier in this video, for Democrats to get this done, this expansion for Social Security across the board, to get this done before those midterm elections coming up in November. So let's talk about that for just a few more minutes before we wrap up this video. So Representative John Larson, the Democrat from Connecticut and chair of the House Social Security Subcommittee, held a hearing just a couple of months ago on his legislation, the Social Security 2100 Act, and this is co-sponsored by 90% of House Democrats. So 90% of House Democrats, which control the House, they have co-sponsored this Social Security Act called the Social Security 2100 Act. And this incorporates all of the expansions that Joe Biden promised during the campaign when he won his election, in large part due to the senior vote. Now, the legislation increases Social Security's modest benefits both across the board and also in long overdue ways. It adds a caregiver credit, restores student benefits, improves benefits for widows or widowers, and much more. It pays for every penny by requiring the highest paid earners in this country to contribute to Social Security at the same rate as the rest of us. Remember, anyone making above about $140,000 per year no longer pays into the Social Security tax. If we're going to take care of seniors, that is going to have to change. Now, although not a single Republican politician has co-sponsored the expansion legislation, protecting and expanding Social Security has strong bipartisan support among those who count most: the American people. So, not politicians, but regular American people like you and me. They give bipartisan support to expanding Social Security. If you vote Democrat, if you vote Republican, odds are in this country you support the expansion of Social Security. And as our elected leaders, they should be acting on the people's will, and Congress should be doing what the people want. And what we want is an expansion of Social Security, so none of us have to live in poverty when we're seniors. Now, large majorities of Republicans, Democrats, and independents overwhelmingly support Social Security expansion, but Republican politicians are listening to their corporate donors, not their voters. Folks, let me know in the comments, if you vote Republican, do you think Republican congressmen are listening to you when it comes to Social Security, or do you think they're listening to their millionaire and billionaire corporate donors? Let me know in the comments, because quite frankly, I'll be honest here, I think it's not just Republicans. Democrats are doing this as well. Quite honestly, this is something I've never heard before. I think there should be a Social Security tax on corporations as well, like a higher tax, right? So, for instance, if you're Amazon and you're an employer, like you have employees, Generally, what happens is the employee pays a certain percentage towards Social Security, and the company pays a certain percentage as well. But I think if your company is above a certain size, like these giant corporations like Walmart and Amazon, I think they should be required to pay an additional, like surtax, an additional amount into Social Security benefits, folks. And let me know in the comments if you agree. So, a lot of experts are arguing that Democrats should be pushing for this in the midterm elections and using this as an opportunity not only to help seniors, but also to help them win those midterm elections in November. So, folks, we should have a lot of updates in the next few months as we have a stronger push for Democrats to keep their promise and increase Social Security benefits across the board before these November midterm elections. So, don't forget to subscribe. I will keep you posted as things develop on this next stimulus package, Social Security changes, and potentially getting a stimulus check for seniors in this next stimulus package. Now, if you'd like to stick around, folks, to end this video, I'm going to do a quick update on stocks and what's happening in the stock market. Now, usually I do an update on what's happening with the White House and politics, but things are a little bit slow right now, so I'm going to be mixing in more financial news, things that can help you build your wealth and invest in things like stocks and cryptocurrency. So let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in. It's also something I'm going to talk about more on my second channel. And again, the link to my second channel is going to be in the comments of this video. So like I said earlier at the beginning of this video, when interest rates go up over a couple of years, usually what ends up happening is people get scared at first, the stock market plummets, but then over the next couple of years, we get really, really good returns in the stock market. Now, tech is down hugely. Growth companies that are more speculative, that don't really make money now but are expected to grow, their prices have gone down significantly over the last couple of months since the Federal Reserve announced they're going to raise interest rates. Now, those who are savvy know this is a really good time to start buying, especially if you want to start loading up on companies that you think could be unicorns and really explode over the next 2 to 5 years. Now, this has been signaled by companies like Microsoft. A lot of companies are starting to acquire smaller growth tech companies because prices are so cheap. And it just broke this morning that Microsoft acquired a video game company called Activision Blizzard. And it's been reported that Microsoft is doing this as a play to move into the metaverse space. I'm sure you might have heard that the virtual reality, the metaverse space, where people are basically going to live in virtual reality, work in virtual reality, play in virtual reality. That whole thing is going to explode over the next 10 years, and companies are looking to bolster their video game space because virtual reality is really almost an evolution of video game technology becoming more realistic and creating an immersive human digital experience. So it's a lot to wrap your head around, folks, but this is something we're keeping our eye on. Companies really expanding into the digital reality space, things like metaverse, cryptocurrency, this area is expected to explode. So if you're interested in building your wealth, investing, and trying to grow yourself into a retirement of dignity on top of Social Security benefits, please subscribe, and especially subscribe to my second channel. I'm going to be talking more about investing over there on that channel. Again, the link is going to be in the comments of this video. So with that said, folks, thank you so much for watching. That's about it for this video. So until the next one, take care and have a great day.